So hello, everybody.
Hello.
It's so lovely that you're here. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Janelle Campbell and I'm a Sydney medium. And what the process is that I will gather some information from your loved ones, your friends, your family members, and I call that evidence. But really mediumship is evidential. It doesn't matter what it is. So big breath. Wish the people around you a happy afternoon and just relax. And those that will step forward, I can assure you. So we'll have a go. Okay. I feel as though I've got, we say in-laws and whatever, but I do feel I've got a mother or mother-in-law in the spirit world that steps forward first. She's very eager and she's a very happy, jolly kind of lady when she was here in this life. And I know that she's very gutsy kind of lady. She was strong and she could put one foot in front of the other, very sturdy and grounded, this lady. Very much of the earth, very earthy kind of mother or mother-in-law. I'm almost wanting to say that. She speaks quite she could be a bit intimidating at times too, because she was simply strong and she knew what she wanted to do and what was going in her life. I do know that she could put pen to paper and she wrote letters and she sang around the house and or sang songs and listened to the radio, and the music was always very much a part of her life. Before I go on too much, does anybody recognize this mother or mother-in-law, I have to say? And she speaks quite succinctly. I want to say, will kind of smack you in the head with the words, but here we go. So who have we got? Someone, okay, Michelle. Who else? Who else? Miss Michelle, how about you unmute yourself, my darling?
I can take everything. Uh it was my partner's auntie, but she was like a mum, so it would be
Oh,
like
good.
mother-in-law.
All right. Thank you, darling. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Sometimes it just filters through my mind a little weird, a little
That's
differently,
fine.
but you recognize all the information. That's the most
Yeah,
important.
she was an author. She published a
Oh,
few
very good.
books, and
Excellent.
music was very important, and
Perfect. Good
she
on.
could be very intimidating.
She likes it. I have to say, and she's very jolly, like if
Yeah.
she's got a big laugh and she's got a signature that she would quite happily scrawl across all sorts of things.
Yeah.
And I
She
think
was
that,
famous, so she
oh,
used to
very good.
sign things.
Oh, thank you, thank you. And it,
Mhm.
it came up, and she, oh, what did that? Bring it back, my love. And yes, she puts pen to paper. And she says that signing was one of her favorite things and that's a big ego sort of thing as well. And she loved the notoriety and the process of writing and putting things out there. She had a very good mind and obviously, very learned, but she had a very good mind for technical things as well. Now that's a strange thing.
Yeah.
Do you reckon? Oh, good, very good. And she worked very hard to put these things together. There seemed to be three main things in her life she was very proud of, and she brings that forward first. So it's obviously writing, and she talks about family or a guardianship. Now you did say there was some different sort of a relationship to this lady, but she had a
Mhm.
lot of people that she took under her wing. That's what she wants to say. Like a mentor. Thank you. I think like a mentor
Yes.
sort of
Yeah.
thing. That's where we're going.
Yeah.
And is the name Barbara connected to her, please?
Not connected to her, but I my mother-in-law to a previous marriage was Barbara, and she's here.
I just, oh, whatever. She's just bringing it in. So I have to, I know it's weird, but I do have to just mention Barbara. And
Yeah.
we'll see what that means in a minute. You never know. I just feel like maybe Barbara's got family there too. So let me just wait. So the three things. So she was, the writing was a great passion of hers, very good command of language and
Yeah.
English and all sorts of things. I know that she had put blah, 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 what did I say? Mentor. She was a mentor for those around her. Did she also work in a university or something like that, my love? I just feel this lady has a good teaching aspect about her as well.
She did study, and then she was a journalist, and then she had a TV show in the States for
Okay.
forever. And I think she was
Right.
groundbreaking in a
All
lot of
right.
things.
Well, she sounds like a very interesting lady. Let me see
Mm,
what else I've got for her. And she says her life was like a three-ringed circus,
yeah.
and there were so many things on opportunity and on offer. But she also had a broken heart, she mentions as well, broken family relationships or marriage or whatever. So, and it was always hard because she had to work very hard and really forget about some of the more emotional sort of things we all bring in life, but she's nonetheless here. She's having it's a roller coaster of a world, she says, and I'm glad not to be in it
Mm,
anymore. But I praise all the efforts that my team would help me with, those in the network and those on paper, so in her journalistic life, because they were not always on her side, she says. And you may remember some stories we would talk about, or things that we would do backwards and forwards. There's like I could really kill people. I really want to punch
yeah.
them or something like that. And that's her language.
Yeah.
She's really, she pulls no punches. Oh, she's lovely. She takes no enemies, she's just said.
Yeah.
And she realizes now the sort of thing that got her into a lot of trouble, which was, the way she'd speak to people and
Yes.
what have you.
Yeah.
And that's quite lovely. She mentions your mother, so I have to give some thanks to your mother. Is mum in spirit as well, darling?
My mum's in spirit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just starting to get a feel for her. She's just allowing we're settling with it a bit, and mum sort of steps forward a little bit. And I know that she's quite a crowd pleaser, mum, like I feel like she could be the life of the party, or she'd be a happy lady and like everyone to be happy. Does that make
Yeah.
sense, Michelle?
Yeah.
And even though she would stand back, oh, she says, I'm here now, I'm here now. I'm supporting Michelle. She says, I'm supporting you, honey. So don't forget that I'm not far away. And is there a Les or Leslie or something like that as well? Have to, let's put it aside if you don't think
Yeah.
of it straight away. It might be an
Not sure.
uncle or, a little bit sideways, but she's very happy where she is. And she says she's got a teeth back or teeth are in or something like that. She doesn't have to put her teeth anywhere anymore. It's lovely, isn't it? You get all the things. But they were a problem. They were a real problem for her, and she's kind of big stretch for her at the moment, and she's very. She liked the lazy sunny days,
Yeah.
and she didn't have a lot of them. And but it was very much her process to be here for a short while and gone. So I feel mum left well before her time. So
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And she's got a lot of funny and silly and stupid memories, she says. So I feel like lots of crazy stuff for mum is in her life, and she's a beautiful lady. So she steps back to make sense of herself now, because I know she couldn't do that when she was here. Does that make sense, Michelle?
Yeah. The teeth, she was horrified when she could, when in her days when she was dying, I took her dentures out and washed them for her, and she spent her life of not letting anybody
I
see her
see
without
that.
teeth, and it was horrific for her, but I couldn't leave her
No, you
in
have to do the thing that you have to do.
so
Exactly.
that's very relevant.
Well, she's laughing and she's very kind and she's very sorry for making your life difficult, she says,
Not at
at
all.
that
No.
time. But that is the way it goes.
Yeah.
She's very matter of fact about that. So So I do know I want to move on now, but just before I go, I do feel like I'm eating sweet, like cakes or lollies and things like that, like she's got a bit of an appetite. Oh, and she's got her appetite back, she says. So
Thank you.
she says to you, take the strength that you were born with, my darling, and be kind-hearted as you were to me, to those around you. I stop worrying about you now because you are well and truly making your mark in this world, and I'm very proud and very honoured to be present today. So thank you for accepting me, she says, and remembering me, and I love you. There's also birthday candles in the very near future, or it's just happened.
Just happened.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I think that'll do, because she will just.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, my
So
darling.
grateful.
You're most welcome. Thank you. So that's how we do it. And I'm trying to go as fast as I can. Beautiful. And I know they want to say more. It's very hard in a situation like this because we have to keep it rolling and allow more people to step forward, as many as we can. So I know that there's Oh, I think there could have been 4 more people too for you, Michelle. So let me just kind of clear my head for a moment. I do feel a gentleman in the spirit world. I do know that we've just had Anzac Day, and I do feel that I'm a soldier or in the armed forces, I have to say. And there's many, I feel he's got medals. I do feel he's with horses. I do feel, that's the thing, isn't it? The Light Infantry Brigade. Let's not get too caught up on that, but that was a thing. And a platoon, thank you. And so I do feel this gentleman is a war veteran from long ago, and he would not intend to I don't know. I don't think he thought very highly of himself. I think he had difficulties, coming back from those times, and a bit of depression and not sure what to do. I don't want to go any further. So does anyone recognize this man in the spirit world? Very good. My lady Aaron Whitnish in the green shirt. So would you unmute yourself, darling? Unmute, unmute. I don't know if I can do that. Let me see. I don't know, I can't. You can hear me though. Aaron, can we unmute this lady or not really? Oh, we've done it. Hello, what's your name?
Virginia.
Hello, Virginia. Now, do you recognize this like a grandfather, I reckon,
So my grandfather fought in PNG in Malaysia.
Oh, very good. And horses, and he's got medals, but he wouldn't kind of speak up, or he would be a bit humble about these things. And I do feel a bit of sorrow or depression or sadness around him as well. Do you understand, darling?
Yes, I do.
Very good, thank you. And he's very delighted to step forward today because he's very proud of the way the way he brought his family up. I do feel he's quite a strong gentleman, the strong silent type. And that's the way we all were. He did see warfare, I have to say, he did see that, and the battleground, and it was awful. I want to say, was he a prisoner of war or within that Malaysia thing?
Yes, so my grandfather and my great uncle were both there. My great uncle was put through experimentation in the malaria.
Oh, okay. Don't tell me too much, my love. Don't tell me too much. But I do feel that there's that connection with being prisoners and warfare and difficult times. So I do know it, but thank you. But I do feel with him like my breathing is labored. I'm very heavy in my chest, and a lot of issues he brought back with him from those times, and the war effort was not always going in our favor, he says. You don't know many stories, but you know enough. he
Mm.
says. You know, we kept a lot silent, and we all know that, but he brings that forward. He has a walking stick with him, Virginia. So
Okay.
he was a bit unsturdy on his legs then, towards those days or months that he was here. Do you remember that?
I have a photo of my grandfather with a walking stick, so it
Very
must
good.
be that you
It's
with
a
both of the stories. It's very close to my uncle as well because he had all the chest and the breathing stuff.
all right.
He was
Okay.
detained 12 months after the war. Even they didn't send them home immediately.
No, that's right. They didn't.
Mm.
You're a
Mm.
good talker, my darling. So let's see. Let me go. I love that. And so well, I do feel it's the grandfather. If the uncle's there, that's lovely. But I know that it's the grandpa that wants to kind of speak up first. I do know that there's a lot of friends with him. You know, obviously we know all about the war and how great loss and all of these things. But he's very proud to march. So did he march in the parade? Do you know?
Yes, my uncle would have. My grandfather didn't. He was very he was like, war isn't glorious, and
Okay.
I'm
Well, that's his humility, but he's
yeah.
bringing the march to mind, I have to say, and I'm going to question if where the uncle is, if he's a bit too close. Is that a brother? A brother?
This
So,
was my father's brother, but my daughter has just done a whole Anzac assembly.
okay, good. Oh, thank you. Stop talking now, my darling. I have to. That's
Mm. And
bless.
she does the morning service for like since she
Oh, thank
was
you. I
12.
think that's where we're going. I just
Yeah.
feel I have to put that pride in the march and
Mm.
and things that were going on and the medals. And I do feel I've got to put all those things together and the bits and pieces. He was there for the celebration, he says, after the march. So if she had a celebration or you had a family little reunion or recognition of, you know, just the other day, then a barbecue, it's that sort of thing that he comes close around the family then, and he's very much reminded of the passion that his family showed him, you know, like great love and great passion, and everyone was so caring and loving around my life, and he's very grateful for that. He shows me things like, I don't know, he had feet trouble or toe trouble, or, you know, like I do feel as though my toes are very, you know, sore or not quite right, and I almost want to say like a diabetic, that type of thing. So
It'd be
yeah,
mindful. Yeah.
And there's a lot of things going on with my health that you know, it was like either a cancer or things just not disintegrating. I know that's a terrible thing to say, but you know, things that were eating away within his own mind, within his own thoughts and heart. But he's all back together again now, and he's very grateful as well to step forward. We're all here together, and the name Tom comes to mind as well.
So
So
Tom was my uncle's father, Thomas.
together, and so they all have kind of, you know, stepped forward together. They're very close, I have to say, because it's really hard for me to kind of, I'm going, come on, just give me something a little else different, but they're very much reminded of the widows they left behind, I have to say, the widows we left behind. But grandmother is also there in the spirit world, and I just feel that it might be Tom's mum, so that might be great grandmother, but Tom's person, but we're all here as a family. I also like to go out in the tent with this man. You know, I think we're all going camping or we're in a tent, and I know that he's very much reminded through you of the family and how we all were together. Does any of that make any sense whatsoever, my love?
Oh, it does definitely. I never
Very
met.
good.
I only know the family stories, but
But that's okay. That's okay. But
yeah.
I just feel that they come to show you that they're very grateful for for the commitment. And now he says, and the surrender of the Japanese regime. So it was very much, I feel like tears and crying and an outburst of great sorrow because it was so unnecessary, he says. I just feel his, the war of the times, the men of those times, it was a very different way, but he realizes that it should not have come to pass. It was just a dreadful thing and he wished it would stop. So he still has very much a strong opinion about what's going on in the world today and how it should be put to pass. It's just abhorrent. So he's still up to date with what's happening here and how the times are, and he's very grateful that he came home and left it behind, but it did have an effect on him. But he says thank you, and he wishes you well and great fortune. And my misfortune was not seeing everyone grow up. Does that make sense, Virginia?
Oh, yeah,
He
absolutely.
says that the many grandchildren and the different littlies that come after it. So,
Yeah.
but I'm watching from my home in spirit, he says, and we had a lovely family home, so I'm very grateful. So I think that's all I've got for now, my darling. I know you've got a big story to tell me, but it's a little bit.
I that family home and I put blessings.
Beautiful. That's lovely.
He
Yeah.
keeps through with the home and
Beautiful. He's very grateful for that. So I will leave it there, but
Mm.
they know what's going on and understand the thought process as well and what's going in your head. So that's lovely.
Absolutely.
So that's
Thank you
Thank you, darling. Thank
thank you so much.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. The name Peter comes to mind, so let's see where that's going. So I'll just put it aside for a minute, but it's still hanging out. I feel rightio. We've got a little dog here. We've got the dog. We have the dog. The very first time a little dog came through, I thought I was going crazy. And the dog said something or other, and then I went, great, I'm talking to a dog now. And so I do have a dog. I do have a dog. I have, so whether the name Peter connects to this, I'm not sure, but I do have the dog. I know that there's a lot of funny things going on around my home, and I was this is the dog, all right, this is the dog. So when the dog was here, there was a lot of different little trinkets. He saw different, maybe crystals, maybe interesting comings and goings. There was lots of silliness going on sometimes with the people that would visit my home, and people that stayed too long, he says, which is kind of funny. I do have a dog. I feel it's a bigger dog. It's not a little kind of puppy. So we've got Danielle. Who else? And look, it's lovely how only one person puts their hand up. It's great. So let's see where we go. Hi, Danielle. How are you, lovely?
Hi, Janelle. Is it Tita? T-E-I-D-A?
I wanted to say Tilda, to be honest,
Tita,
but if
Tita.
it's a little bit like that.
Yeah, she's
So
a stuffy red cattle
good,
side.
and it's a bigger kind of dog,
Yeah.
not a little handbag dog.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm sorry to all the handbag dog owners, but I do feel that, and he recognizes the
It's a girl.
silliness, hang on, darling, and the comings and goings, and the crystals, and the
Yeah,
and little trinkets. Does that make sense?
it does. She's a girl, though.
Oh, she's a girl. Okay, that's all right. I'll let her be a girl. She could be anything she wants in this group. Let's see. Let's see. And she's I do feel with her, she shows me that her breathing got labored. She feels all her energy kind of just left her, and she held on for as long as she could, she says. And I feel like the music is playing with this dog, Danielle. So I do feel she enjoyed music or soft conversations, that sort of thing as she got older. I can see you bringing her close You know, she loved you, and she shows me that you bring her close to cradle her when she was dying.
Yeah,
Do you remember that?
we
Good,
did.
good. And she's very soft and very happy to be in your arms. You know, I just feel that rocking and backwards and forwards. And she knows that you were greatly distressed at her passing, and she couldn't stop it. But I'm okay now, she
Oh, good.
says. Obviously, she's
Mhm.
okay. I'm with many other critters. Isn't that a great word? I'm with many other critters, and I'm back to my full strength, my health. You know, I do feel her lobbing, you know, I don't know whatever that word is, but you know,
Going up and down, yes.
all of that, you know, I've
Yeah.
got a word for that.
That's what happened when she was dying. She was going around like that.
Oh, bless her. Well, so I just didn't have a word
Like a
for
bloke
it.
in a
So.
boat of water, you know.
Oh, and yeah, sorry, I couldn't put a word to that, but that's what she's doing, and she's very you know, she's showing me all the symptoms really. I know it's a weird thing, but
No,
and she's got this really long tongue. I mean, she's got a really long tongue, and she couldn't get enough water, so
Yeah.
she couldn't get enough water. So where are we going with this lovely Tidda? What is it?
Tita, T-E-I-D-A.
Oh, T-E-I-D. Oh, Tita, not
Tita.
Peter. Now that's interesting. So let me go. Okay. I also you know, she's a really waggly kind of dog. You know, she's having a lovely time. The tail's going, all sorts of things. So and she's around the home, she wants to say. She knows your depression, she understands it, but look on the bright side now. She says, I'm here and I'm happy and I'm not alone.
Yeah,
So
good.
don't worry about me. She shows me a candle that you've lit for her as well when she either passed, or like a little you know, when I don't know what they're called, blah, 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 you know, we might put candles on a table, or some crystals. And
Yeah, I got a section like that. Yeah.
thank you. And she recognizes that because there's a place on that table for her, and she recognizes that, and she's very grateful. She steps up quite let me see, where are we going, Tita? She's with you on the bed at night. She's with you, and she's really right next to the pillow. I just feel it's like I'm here, you know, like there's your nose and there's her nose, and
Okay.
we're like that, and you sense that around her. You sense her around you anyway.
Yeah.
But I do feel the cuddles. Man, I feel she obviously must have sat on the bed or laid on the
I
bed.
know I laid on the floor with her and she went like this to there.
Oh, okay. I just feel a big hug, though, you know,
Yeah.
and
She put her
and
chest against my
beautiful,
chest.
beautiful, and a beautiful companion, you know, a beautiful companion, and she's very happy, Mum. She says, "Very happy, Mum. Don't worry, don't worry." I also know we've got the animals, so she's with like a barnyard full, and
That's probably her family.
and I know that, sorry, darling, I can't hear you properly. But I do know that there's like a little catch from childhood, and little things as well, you know, from long ago. Is there a Mary, something like that in the spirit world? Mary or Maria, something like that.
I don't know.
Good. Tell me no, that's fine.
Don't know.
I might be moving on, but
If it's my mum. Don't know.
is Mum in the spirit world
My
though?
mum's in the spirit world.
Is her name Marie or Mary or something like that?
Mary's her middle name.
Oh, okay. I'll take that. I think I'll take that. So
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
there's Millie as well, which is her mum.
Okay, let's have a go. Let's see. It's Mum. I want to connect to Mum. I know that I want to connect the name Mary or whatever it is to Mum. So if I didn't get the first name, that's cool. But I do feel a lot of less stressful now. She's, you know, like I do feel a lot of stress in her life and a lot of worry. You know, it was hard for her to keep up with things, and she would worry a lot about everybody and everything and all the things that were going on in her life. And she
Exactly.
couldn't really keep her mind to herself. You know, she was always, oh, busybody's a bit of a icky word, isn't it, a phrase? But I do feel that she would know what was going on with everybody around her. Does that make sense,
It
darling?
does. It does.
Good-o. And she's much more, I do feel much more relaxed now, she says, but I'm very tight all up in that throat area. So I do feel she had some issues with that, with the
She did.
throat, her neck and shoulders, all around that area.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
understand that, lovey?
I do. I do.
Good-o. And she's, as she says, she's more relaxed. She's got her ears pierced. Now that's a really weird thing to say. But did she have her ears pierced?
No.
No.
Okay.
See,
Something new.
she's showing me ears are pierced. So
Okay.
let me see what that means. It might mean I'm a complete idiot and don't know anything, but let's see, let's see. Oh, maybe her hearing went on her. I'm sorry if that's not right, but I just feel like there's still a loss of hearing or all these speaking and
Yeah.
not able to
Had that.
speak and hear and all of that sort of stuff.
You had a
So
lot of that.
okay, good. Oh, it's not her ears pierced at all. So but I do have to go there, you know, and she just mentions that to me. I know that let's go. I wish I could keep more of the house tidy than I did. And I feel like I've got little bits and pieces, too much stuff, she says, too much stuff around the place. And don't take after me, she says, just don't do it, you know, don't do it.
My house was
You just rolled
tidy.
your eyes, haven't you?
Yeah.
But she's always on your side, Danielle, so don't forget that. I do know this lady had a bit of loneliness as well. I do
Yeah.
know that. And
I
there was
do.
not much we could do about it, but that's old age, or that's the way it went, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I do feel I can't move very well, you know. I couldn't get out, I couldn't drive, I couldn't walk, you know,
That's right.
all of these sorts of things. So it got very hard, and I do feel my mind going very foggy. So, you know, so not able to speak the words or think straight. Did she, I feel like I want to say, no, I won't say that. My mind just got in the way. So let me go. I wanted to say, did she only pass like 6 months ago? So I'll just put
No,
it out.
no. She passed away 6 months before the dog died.
Oh, okay. I don't know. All right. I
So
don't
just to
know.
let you know, the dog, Tita and Mum died 6 months apart.
Oh, well, all right. Maybe. I'll just go maybe. I'll just go
That's a
maybe.
six.
But 6 months comes to mind. So I'm
Right.
not sure. So, but so she says, blessings to you, my heart, and my sorrow still reaches you. You know, you still understand my death was a process and part of life naturally, but I wish you wouldn't be so sorrowful now. It's not needed. And I'm very joyful to be reconnected with my family and loved ones in spirit. But take heart for yourself, because you're very brave and you've done no wrong in my mind and my heart. I'll always love you. So
Thank you.
step up a little more, step out a little more, and breathe easier, Danielle, because I'm perfectly fine, and
Thank you.
and I'm very happy. And I will move on, but she does have an aunt with her, so that's her sister or an aunt, a very close relationship like that. And I know you said the dog's name is Tita, but I want to put the name Matilda there. If it's not for you, I've moved on.
Yeah.
Matilda, as in waltzing.
Her,
No.
not as first name. No.
No. It's just
No,
the
no.
name Matilda comes to mind, so I might be moving on. So lots of blessings to you, my darling, and thank you so
Thank you.
much for stepping up.
Thank you.
Oh, very good, very good, very good. Okay. Now Matilda. Let me go with Matilda. Let's see what happens with Matilda. And I do feel more a grandmotherly kind of lady, Matilda, and very earthy, very earth, and very maternal, and very very traditional, and very strong. So that's pretty good, isn't it? And she's not making me, my thoughts are not complicated. My thoughts are very measured, you know, I'm just very measured, and I'm very traditional. I'm very, very, where am I? I have to go. I have to ask. So it's either Matilda, the name Matilda comes to mind. I'm very much a, if the name doesn't work, let's put it aside. But I do feel like grandmother, that type of understanding. She says it was a blessing to be a grandmother, and I do feel it's a long ago, grandmother, great grandmother. It's that kind of period I want to step into. I know that I'm a very earthy, you know, very much for the land and the process of my people. That's nice, and I put that forward. She's laughing a little bit at me, and I do know she's testing me. So who am I with? I want to go Bianca, to be perfectly honest. But Cheryl, do you think you know this lady as well? That would be good. Let's see. Very much an Earth Mother. I do feel very, the name Matilda, does that make sense to either of you? Bianca?
Yes.
Cheryl?
Mine had an M name, but not Matilda.
Well, I definitely felt Matilda, but we'll see. I don't normally get letters, you know, so I'll go with what I know. And I do feel my people. So there you go. So I have to say that, and I think I'm with Bianca. So and my natural people, my natural dwelling, and
Yes.
and the land was very important and very open. You know, I love my lot in life, although it wasn't always an easy trot. She says she's very old-fashioned in the way she speaks. I know she's Indigenous. I know that, Bianca, don't I? So
Yeah.
I have to go there. And but she gives me this beautiful traditional kind of space that that she works in with the land, and I'm very much working with my hands as well. Do you understand that?
I do. Yes.
Very good. Now she is laughing at me because she just thinks, you know, I'm a bit funny. So, but she's very spiritual herself. Now, look, you know, she's in the spirit world. Oh, yes, Janelle, she must be spiritual. But no, but in life, she was very spiritual. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I know that, you know, she could almost like a witch, I want to say, you know, it's almost that recognition of putting things together, and she could make things and potions and look after the people, you know, and her people around her. Is that true, Lovey?
It is. Yeah.
Very good. I like this. And I know that she's still very much looking after the family, I have to say. And it's like she's everybody's guide, you know, this poor grandmother in the spirit world. It's like she's looking after the tribe, you know, she's still looking after the tribe and all the people in the family. And she goes, you know, not just the black fellas, she says, it's like it's the extended, and I'm allowed to say that because she said that, she said it that way. And it's quite lovely. I know I've this lady I recognize, I know from long ago, but she's kind of smiling at me, you know, putting me to the test a little bit as well. What's something more? She is cooking up a storm as well. You know, I do feel with her that, you know, it's very family oriented, but it didn't just mean her you know, her nucleus family. It's everybody's family. You know, everybody is part of the family, you know, and she would bring everybody in. I didn't see that message, I'm sorry, but so she brings that to mind. She's keeping a few secrets or a few things up her sleeve, Bianca. Where did you go? You just disappeared.
I'm here.
And oh, you're there. And she's got a few things in mind for you in a very short while. Like it's like you're putting things into place which remind you of her. You know, there's things that she's putting into your mind, or you're doing something and you think of her while you're doing it. And it feels like it's more a work issue or putting things together for those around you. And she knows how hard you work and how much draining energy that is going on, but you're much better than you once were. Does that make sense, lovely?
Okay, good. It does make sense, yes. That is nice to hear.
Praise Matilda. So let's go. But she's putting things into place for you. She's guiding you along, and I feel I've got to push you a little bit there as well. So she's trying to put these things together for you. She knows that you put things on paper for her. You know, I do know that you do a lot of writing or work or history. I want to put history together, you know, and put the writing down in like almost a chronology of who was in the family. Oh, that's called a family tree, Janelle, isn't it? So, you know, but it just feels like that, you know, it's that sort of a thing. And she's very proud of that family, and she made her mark on the earth. Don't worry about all the things that happened in those days, she says, and things still come to mind, she knows, but she's very happy where she is, and her role in life, you know, it was meant to be. She's very philosophical and very matter of fact, you know, and she sends blessings to your mother. So and it might be your mother's grandmother. Is that true? Is that how that works?
It is,
Yes,
yeah.
it's just it feels far further back. And she's watching her health as well. But tell her not to eat so many sweet things.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's you know, what do you do? I drink wine, it's fine. So we just do that sort of thing. But let's see. She's very much a medicine woman there, I've got it, and she's very proud of that fact, and I do feel with her there's a bit of a political connection to Bianca. Like she would be strongly for her people, the local people, the crowds would gather, and I feel she would often speak to larger numbers of people. Is that true, lovely?
I'm not quite sure.
Good, that's a no. But I do
Yeah.
feel there's a sense of that she would gather. There were people around her, and she would speak about the old days, all about the times and the political inferences that go on. I have to put it together, okay? So if it doesn't come to mind now, I do feel she still sees, you know, it's like same but different, you know, still going on today.
Yeah, I think that was in the church.
Oh, okay, thank you. She doesn't show me the church, which is interesting.
Yeah, well,
But she puts it together, you know, like that. And the political confines, then, if it's the church group, maybe, but you know, it's just divisive. That's the word, divisive. And I'm very happy and strong. She's strong as an ox, and she's got big feet. She has got her feet firmly planted on the ground, and I've got an old pair of either sandals or gumboots or something like that on my feet, you know, and I'm around the paddock and, you know, walking everywhere. Great stride. And she's very happy. So promote your self-worth a little bit more, my darling, and be brave and stand up strong. You do me proud. She says, you do me proud. And I'm very honored that we work together, you and I, you. And it's very a beautiful recognition of family and strong friendship, and she's very grateful. So thank you, my love.
Thank you.
She's baking a cake as well, so that's nice, isn't it? Why am I baking a cake? I don't know, but she's baking a cake. I'll leave it there. That'll do.
Thank
Very
you.
good. And she's got a lazy old dog with her. I want to get, you know, I say goodbye, but she's got a lazy old dog with her, and it's like a big old cattle dog or something like that. So
Yeah.
something like that. Old school dogs. So very good. Oh, excuse me. How are we all going? Are we all bored to tears yet? So I'll just see where we're going. There's quite a lot of people in the spirit world today, so that's really nice. Okay. I couldn't give up the smokes, this person says. I do feel I've got a cancer. I do feel my energy was really laboured, but I loved a good smoke. I'm not sure if it's a joint, but we'll go there as well. I do not. And I Melinda. And I'm just going there, and I really like to kick back and smoke my little heart out. So, and that's all I've got at the moment. Now, Melinda's
Could be.
waving her hands merrily there.
Maybe.
So let's see where we're going. So there's another Aaron with Nish as well. So can you girls put, so Melinda, I can see you.
Yeah.
So the other lady, what's your name, darling? Hello. Hello. Speak. Did somebody else have their hands waving? There's Melinda and another one. You're going, so I so Melinda, let's go with you first. So do you recognize the person that just loves to smoke, and it could be a joint, or whatever they're called.
My dad was like a passive smoker, so it could have been him, but
Okay, all right. And Melinda,
My mum.
bless her. And but not a joint, like
My God, no.
that's terrible. That's
She
shocking.
was very, very naive.
Bless her. Okay, let's go. Okay, so I want to giggle with you, I have to say. So let me see. I might, stick with it for a moment. So I love to smoke. So it's not a passive smoker then for the other lady, all right? And so I want to go with somebody that loves to smoke and a cancer as well.
Yeah.
Good-o. All right, my darling, let's go. The other, I haven't got your name there, my darling.
Linda.
Sorry?
I'm Linda.
Linda, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, Linda. Thank you. So just listen, but I do believe I'm with Melinda at
That's
the
all
moment.
right.
So thank you, darling. Thank you.
No.
So Melinda, we've got Mum here. She loves to smoke. She's got cancer. She had cancer. She hasn't got cancer. And I want to giggle with her. Like I just want to laugh and very joyful, and when she was well, but even then she would try and perk everyone up when she was sick. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it wasn't her way to be, oh, woeful and, oh, I'm dying and blah, blah, none of that wasn't her, that wasn't her way. And she's very grateful for all the things that you put in place for her. And because you did many things, not just about the funeral and all the costs and all the things that happened, but looking after her. And I want to bring you well and truly to my heart when she says that. And she just goes, I love you, I love you, I love you. And what more can I offer? She's a bit of a she likes springtime, this lady.
Yeah.
Now,
She loved her flowers. She loved
yes, I was just
roses.
about to go there, with all the flowers and the new growth. And I do know gardening goes with this lady and all of these beautiful things around her. She didn't have I said gardening, but she didn't have a green thumb per se, but she liked to pick things, like I can kill a plastic plant. And so I just feel she's not quite as bad as me, but she likes all the garden and roses and the things. And yes, and butterflies come to mind with this lady. So I want to go with the butterfly. God love you. And it's like a thing. It's like a sign, or there was something about the butterflies that's very important to her. And are you good, my love?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Good. Just breathe. Just have a little breath. Oh, you're off. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in the other room.
Sure. Okay. And where am I going? She likes toast. And she's a real toast lady, like she would just have toast and finger buns. Now, there's a thing you don't hear of very
Yeah.
often, finger buns, and all of these sorts of things, and she's laughing away merrily. And I have to say, I'm so happy with this lady that and she's very happy to meet me and see what's going on with everybody. So she's a very social kind of lady as well, you know, when she was well, and even when she wasn't well, she says she still liked to keep an eye on everybody or keep up to date with all the friends and all the people in her circle. Does that make sense, darling?
Definitely.
And you have put some excuse me, you've put some things on paper yourself about your mother. So if you wrote a eulogy or a poem or some sort of thing for her in honor of her, and she's very grateful, and it's like I was just so emotional hearing that or reading those words. And at the funeral, thank you, darling. And there feels like there's little trinkets all over the house that you've still got of hers. You know, like you can't bear to throw anything out. You know, she says, "God love you." And I wanted to. Oh, black, good. You should let me tell you that, because that would be so spectacular if I knew that.
Sorry.
So, it's all right. But she does show me, what she does show me is things still hanging in the wardrobe. It's like you've got a favorite top or a shirt or a dressing gown, you know, some sort of thing that she would wear, or a dress. It might be her favorite dress, you know, and she likes it. You know, she loves all these sentimental things that you've put together for her. And she was the same, you know. I just feel like she had stuff of her mother's, and you know, it was all,
Yeah.
we couldn't throw anything out, you know. It's all of that sort of stuff. And she's here too, so grandma is kind of hanging out. You know, we've got the whole house full, and lots of things, and lots of pets, you know, lots of pets.
Oh God, yeah. We had a menagerie when we were little.
There's too many. Yeah, I know, I can't go there, but she's just saying lots of pets. And she says, would you not even kill a snail? Is that you? Or
Yeah.
it's like even a snail, you know, you would look after, or, you know, cherish, or, you know, like that would be a pet as well, you know, when you're a little girl or something. It would be like the snail farm or something like that. I just want to go with that. And it's quite funny. She loved reading books and stories and doing all of these sorts of things, and she would tell the most fantastical fairy tales, you know, and lovely things. She loved children, you know, she loved little children and playing with the children and your children and family, and, you know, all these gorgeous things. And she makes things for them as well. So perhaps you've got a few things still around that she made for the children. And they're very cherished. It's like you've kept them in a cupboard or in a drawer or something, and it's like, I'm not showing you because you'll ruin it. You know, like I get that feeling about it. But do you understand all this?
Sure do.
Good girl. And she's just laughing, I have to say. It makes
The
me
most
laugh.
beautiful giggle or
Yeah,
cackle.
well, that's exactly right. I just, from the top, I think I said I just want to laugh at this lady and giggle. So now she's taking me in the car. She's taking me in the car, and you would take her to her appointments and things when she needed to do those things. But more than that, she liked going shopping with you, and we were good, you know, we were good talkers, and we were good friends, you know, and I just loved being with you, and you were my pride and joy. And do you have other sisters, my darling? I just feel I have to bring in other sisters or other siblings as well.
Yep.
And there feels like a few of them, not just one. So, but we'll go there. And what else have you got? And does the name Louise ring a bell? Tell me no, it's okay. Louise.
Blue.
You'll recognize, no, say no, it's okay.
No.
I might be somewhere else. It might be, you know, hanging out. But where are we going with this, my love? She says, take heart. My blessing was always to bring you into my family and into the heart, and you brought such joy for me. And the sorrow you feel now is, it's more exponential than words can say. So it's like your sorrow grows, my darling,
It does.
and yes, it's just growing. And she says, remind yourself of how I was, pardon me, how I was rather than
Yeah.
those days. Please remind yourself of the happy, fun times. And I think this is why she's come through so joyful and
Oh,
silly and funny, and
God
all of
bless her.
yeah, bless her. And she's having a great time in spirit world, I have to
Good,
say.
good.
And she's making amends for all the things she couldn't put into this life. She's actually trying to, and I think that means her education, I have to say.
She
So
didn't, she left. Yeah.
so for all the things that she couldn't do, educationally and learning, she's doing now, so I do feel that it was difficult for her to learn things or do projects or whatever, growing up. She not, not overly educated. That sounds awful, doesn't it? But
No, that's true.
it's true. And so she's doing that now. She's picking up those pieces in the spirit world. And it's funny. She says, I can do anything now. And it's really cool. And she says, I've got a mind for it. I've got a brain now. She says, so I don't think, we all think, oh, I didn't have any brains at school. I just want to say that, but she's got a mind for it. She's got a brain for it. And she's doing very well, she said. She's still laughing. She's still, Dad hopes, Dad's still here on the earth,
Yes.
yes. And I've just questioned it, that's all. Before I speak, so it's all about me. And so let me go. Dad put words into her mouth when she was here. It's like Dad would speak for her sometimes, and it used to frustrate her. And she laughs now, but she could have really slapped him, and she would shut up, and just leave me to it. But he's a good man, he's a good fellow, and I miss him. She says, I miss him terribly. The softness within him, and she's kind of laughing when she says that, because I think he's a bit of a bloke.
Yes.
And he would just, none of that mushy stuff for me. But I do feel with him, he has great tenderness and great heart. And she's laughing, and she just wants to prod him and remind him of that, to say thank you to all of you and to him. And she's happy again, she's not worried anymore. She's not, see as a furrowed brow, isn't that a lovely old term? But I'm not worried. I'm not upset. I'm very well in mind of what's going on with the things in the family. Do you have a trampoline in the yard, my love?
Will do.
Just randomly, and she's watching the kids and all the things that are going on with the trampoline. And I have to say, watch the little one, so whatever the little one is, with sport. All right, so I have to, and doing funny things. So and it's not a bad thing. It's just she watches everybody, all the things that are going on. So she says, better late than never. Mother's Day is coming up in another week or so. She knows that you're putting things together for the family and to do a special thing for her. And I love that. I want to go with, I keep wanting to leave, but she keeps telling me but I feel like there's a little lace kind of thing to do with her. So it's a little piece of material or lace. Is it a doily or some sort of placemat or something you put on the table? And that's very special. I just feel that there's that's going to be there, and she's very happy for that. So you do what you will, and I will be forever in your heart and grateful. And the whole family, she's just so joyed to be with the whole family. It's just a gorgeous thing. So
Janelle, thank you so much.
oh, darling, you're most welcome. And she just wanted to really come forward and just laugh at you, basically. things going and make you feel happier. So, so you're most welcome. Thank you, darling.
Thank you, Janelle.
What a lovely lady. Everybody's lovely in the spirit world. I like everyone in the spirit world, even the hard asses. And, you know, we've all got them, and we've all got the hard people and the tricky relationships. They're all there. We've all got, or most of us have got exes or extra bits and pieces around the place. And it's a funny old thing, isn't it? But once we get back to spirit, we have it on things, and we understand where we could have been a little bit better in our relationships, or the words that we spoke or didn't speak, you know. And it's a funny thing, and I'm saying all of this because I do feel there's somebody just kind of just starting to step through that was a little bit like that, and wouldn't always say the gratitude. And thank you, Drago, that she needed to, that they needed to say. I'm not sure who it is yet. So let's go. I want to say sorry to those that looked after me, those that cared for me, those that gave me a lot more than I deserved. So this person feels that they were not forthcoming emotionally, and would offer very little gratitude or comfort to the people around them, and they're very sorry for this, and it's very important for me to get that meaning across. Do we even recognize this person in the spirit? Is anyone here that might recognize this? So we've got Renee. Let's have anybody else. I'll hear some voices in a minute. So let's go, Renee. If you can unmute yourself, that would be lovely. Renee.
Hi.
And is this a man, please?
Yeah.
I just got it then. So let me go. So I know this man was very too regimented or too closed or something. You know, he wouldn't offer so much as a thank you, but you know, it's like he couldn't offer gratitude. Does that make sense, darling?
It does with some of our relationships that declined. Yeah.
So that's all right. There we go.
Things that we've gone through together. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like it could have been better, you know, and I'm sorry for the things that I didn't say and the way I didn't treat those people around me, and I didn't treat myself very well either. Does that make sense, Renee?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. I know I have to be serious with this person because it's a serious matter, he says, and we're all trying to make sense of why I left. You know, it's like it wasn't an easy decision, or it was a rash decision, or, you know, all of these sorts of things. I do feel he took responsibility for that. Does that make sense, darling? And thank you. And that's why I'm serious about it all, you know, and I know, you know, he feels great shame in that, but he understands where he went wrong now. And please don't blame yourself. And the people around me tried so hard to make sense of me and to make sense of my mind, but it was out of control. You know, it was like he was spinning in his own mind. Does that make sense, darling?
100%.
Thank you. I like him. He's a lovely guy, and he shows me that, and it was just so frustrating for everyone. You can feel my language has changed. I'm just pouring out my heart, you know, and ringing with tears, he says. But I stopped short of many things, and he wishes he could have changed that. You know, he wished he could have made more of himself in life, but he didn't have the confidence or the people around him. Do you understand that, Renee?
Yes. Yeah.
And he says he's not here to frighten you by stepping forward, and you know we know that, but he likes the way the process works, and I feel it might be his first time he's actually stepped forward. Oh, okay, so well, first time through me, obviously,
Yeah.
but I do feel that you know it's not an easiest thing to kind of make sense of what's going on. He's very grateful to you in particular, I have to say, and he's very sorry. And he talks of his mother as well, so I have to acknowledge her. And she's still here, is that correct?
Yeah.
And so he acknowledges her and wishes he could change her thoughts for her about me, but I'm okay, Mum. He just says, I'm okay, Mum. And will you pass that on if you can, my darling? That would be lovely. Is this your brother, please?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he likes, we got there, he says, we got there. Let's go, come on. He just says, I'm happy. He just says, I'm happy. I know it's a strange thing, but I'm making more of myself. My mind is clearer. I'm understanding different things now. I'm studying again. If he let go of study, he's studying again. And I'm putting the pieces of my world back together. And he thanks you for all that you did. My strong language to my mother was very hard at times, you know, like I feel I would lash out and blame her and, you know, all the people around me. And I'm sorry for that. So please tell her I'm sorry, but I'm okay. So it's important to tell everyone, Renee, that he's okay. He says, I'm okay and I'm happy. And I do feel he's with your father's father.
Yep, he'd be. Yeah.
And we're together and we learn to make things. So and tools and you know men type things, you know, sawing stuff and whatever. And that sort of thing, you know, it's like he's really putting the pieces together, and he understood a lot. He didn't. I do feel maybe some drugs or things with this person, you know, substance is where I want to go, that he chose, and that was okay, but it wasn't I want to say it wasn't deliberate. I just feel it was a mishap, you know, and that it shouldn't have happened, and I just took too much. Do you understand that, darling?
Yeah. He relapsed
Yeah.
after he's clean.
Oh, thank you. It just feels like it just wasn't the way it should have been, you know, it was like a mistake or something, you know. I just had a brain snap, you know, it's that sort of a thing, and I couldn't get clear, and I wasn't meaning to do it, but the thing happened and here I am, you know. It's just like very matter of fact, put all that together, and it's okay, and it's not your fault or anybody else's fault. So, but he does say sorry for that. He's got all right, another one with 3 things he wants to tell us all about. So let's go 3. Number 1, be still with your crying now. It's okay. I'm not far away, and I'm never far from hearing what you think about me. And I like the thought sometimes that you even get cranky with me because I took off and you had to stay there with all the BS that's going on.
Oh my God.
So
Exactly what I've been talking to him about lately.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's lovely. Well, he's been hearing you, and and he likes the language. I have to say, look, I use every swear word on the planet, and I just feel like he is pretty much.
Yep.
And so I like him. And so the other thing is, so he hears those things, he laughs, he knows you could take the Mickey out of him. He didn't say Mickey, of course, he said piss. And so, you know, he knows all of these sorts of things go on. But he says, Mum speaks of me often, and I hear those words, and I'm sorry for her heartache and bringing to mind the depression and the sadness and the great misconfiguration or things things people would not understand what he was talking about sometimes. Does that make sense, Lovey? You could hear me struggling with that a little bit, but it's like his mind would kind of go off in a different direction, and she didn't get it sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
But that's not her fault. That's just life, you know. That's just the way it was, and she did her very best, and he's very grateful for that. And he stands very strong now. Dad's still here.
Yep.
And I always ask because I get a little bit, you know, I think about that. And Dad needs to take a step back and step away from the grief and the occupation that it's his fault. He should have done more, you know, it's my son and all of these sorts of things. And he says, don't worry. And it's not your fault. It's not anyone's fault. It's the way I was. And he's relaxing now. And I feel, did he ride a motorbike at all? I just feel like I want to be on my motorbike while I'm zooming along. And that was lovely, carefree, you know, free and easy kind of way for him to be. I was a tough bugger, he says. I was a bit wayward and a bit tough, he says, but always a good heart. And he can smoke now too, you know, he's got a cigarette or whatever. And I'm very happy with that. He does have a drink. I want to drink scotch or whiskey or some sort of a brown drink, brown, whatever brown is. And but it's that sort of a shot or you know, some rum, something along those lines. So I was a good drinker, but that's not what he says. So he says softly to you, he hears the words, he knows you are sad, he feels your sorrow, and he just loves you, and he thanks you and wishes he could just give you a big hug like a brother should, and offer some support and say thank you to the whole family. I do feel also with him candles around as well, so there just feels that one for him, bless
His candle.
I love him.
Favorite candle.
Oh, nice. and he's just laughed. He says, what are you going to do when it runs out?
Buy another one. Constantly.
But he's very sentimental, this man, you know. He's very sentimental and a lovely, funny, kind-hearted and robust kind of human, you know. So and he's very grateful for today. So thank you for thinking of him. He knows that you constantly talk to him and that you're offering him things. I feel like you've written a card, or you've got a card from him. There's a card, like a greeting card, something like that is from him. So can you ask Mum if that's around? There's like a greeting card that she still may have.
Yeah, from when we were little, I've got a card that he made.
Beautiful. Oh, good. Very good. Very good. And that's lovely. That's all it's like. That's all I need to say now. That's good. Yeah. And he's clapping his hands. So lots of blessings to you, my love, and thank you for being here today, he says. So that's really lovely. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. I think, have we got time for one more, or are we done? Let's see who wants a reading. Everybody wants a reading, of course. I know. Pick me. Okay, let's see. Pick me. Who's never had a reading in their entire life? Let me see if I can just do this and be ever so clever. Miss Joanne, let's see what we've got. Okay, my darling, turn your sound on.
Hi.
Hello, darling. Hello. So it's not weird, is it? It's not scary. It's just lovely and fun and beautiful. So give me the name of your person in the spirit world you would like to contact. So just their name and their relationship to you, just to make it quick.
My dad, Antonio.
Antonio, was it?
Yep.
Dad, Antonio. Okay. Let's see if we can put the pieces together here. I am immediately overcome with emotion when I talk to Antonio. When he steps forward, You know, he's very much, you know, he would gesticulate, or, you know, he would use his hands, or, you know, he's just very emotional and talk a lot about all sorts of things. Does that make sense to you, Joanne?
Well, he's probably doing it now because he's always been the quiet person. He just
Well,
loves
well, let's see if we still can get him there. He's just doing this, you know, he's just gesticulating and bringing things in. So you say he was quiet, but I know that he's got a lot to say underneath all of that, you know, and he's very much the quiet achiever. You know, I'm the quiet achiever. I work hard. I'm very good of mind, you know, like I have a good education, that sort of thing. Does that make sense, darling? Tell me no. Tell me no.
no, he's I think as a dad, because I was born in the Philippines, he's always lived in the Philippines, and he's had a lot of like, I think, frustrations. There was like a big decision in the family back then, many, many years ago, when
Okay.
he's always felt sorry for it. And
Okay.
it's been,
Okay. Oh, I don't want to get him a bit better. I need to get him. He hears a lot of things that are going on now. He is silent, he is quiet, but I still want to say quiet achiever, okay? So he would do things quietly, put things together in his mind. He would be a big thinker. He would think about things and not speak so much. But and I know you've said that, but he still likes to see what's going on. He took interest in what all the things that were going on in the family, and tried very hard to put the pieces together to create a new life for everybody. So I do feel he had to come from afar and difficult circumstances to create the new world, you know, to create this. And it was very hard for him and the family. I don't feel I speak very much English back in those days, you know, like I had to learn the hard way and the long, you know, it took me a long time. And I had to just take what I could get, you know, for work, or, you know, it's almost like, and this might be when he was a boy, but it's like to put, almost in his mind, to put scraps on the table. You know, he had to put food on the table, but it just, you know, it was very meager. You know, he worked very hard to do these things. Do you understand that, Joanne?
yeah, we're very, very poor. And
Very-
what you just said right now, I think he's helping us so much, especially me.
Okay.
I talk to him all the time, every day, because
Beautiful. Good girl. That's lovely. God love you. And well, he's around, and it's funny how it turns out. So I have to, he's making me work a bit. So I'll just, you know, it's like he's very gentle and very polite. That's what I'm doing. He's just very polite. I would just let everything go on around me, and I would just take as it comes, you know. But he recognizes the hard times because he saw a different side to life. You know, before he either came here or changed lives, you know, he saw a very different pathway in life, and he was not going to go down that way with his family and the people he loved, I have to say. He worked hard to give you the life that he didn't have. And I know that that's where the good studious mind comes in, you know, like work hard, think, and education, all of these sorts of things. It's like what I couldn't bring for my own existence, I offered to you and to my family. And I'm very proud and of all the things that went on in our world while we were here, you know, and in a different environment to the way he was brought up. I do feel that I'm reading with this gentleman, though. I do feel that I'm reading now. It might be the newspaper, or trying to keep up with things that were going on in my own country, and things that were going on there, and that he liked to talk about. You know, he would just like to talk about it.
I have
And
Yeah, I have that bond with my dad. So we always talk about current events like boxing and basketball. It's just like I have this bond with my dad.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Regina. It's midnight in New York, and I'm very sorry you're up so late. Bless you. Perhaps we can come and get together another time a little earlier, my darling. So thank you so much for joining us. So I will continue on with Joanne and your lovely dad. And he likes a bit of sport, I have to say. You know, he's liking to do a little bit of exercise, and I don't want my mind to get in the way, but I feel like it's more a calisthenic or something gentle like that.
Okay. I think with with the education and reading the papers also, it's my uncle who recently passed, so he it might be him as well.
Okay, well, let's not get too confused, all
Yeah.
right? So let's stick with Dad for now, but I'll take it on board. And is the uncle a very funny fellow? Was he funny? No. Well, I'll
My
stick
uncle
with
is a bit quiet too. So my dad, when he was younger, yes, he played bowling, basketball. He won
Good.
awards for them.
Good. And I feel I prefer, we're going to stick with Dad. Let's not get confused, okay? So Dad's putting that forward. So I'm playing some sort of a sport, and I'm funny. I have a nice little sense of humor. I just, I would find things quirky or funny about certain things in life. So, and he gives me that, like, the old school dad jokes, all of that sort of thing comes to mind, when I talk about him. And he's still very looking over everyone's shoulder. He's watching what's going on, and the support and the quality. I want to talk about support in a minute, but the quality of the care you gave him was more than any father could ask for. And I'm very grateful for that. And would you say sorry to those your maybe siblings or mum and the people that looked after him, because I'm very grateful for all those things.
That's the thing. Because I was here in Australia when he passed, and I always I always carry the guilt that I didn't do much. There's a lot of things that I am
You
carrying.
don't need to, and this is why he's stepping forward, darling. And it's funny, how they do that. It's lucky last, and he says, it pay no attention to what the mind is spinning. That's interesting, isn't it? So it's just the mind that feels the guilt, and we all feel it. We all do feel it. The mind that says, "Oh, I wasn't enough," or "I'm not good enough, and I could have done more." But he says that's the furthest thing from the truth, and never you worry about that, because it was my path, and I took it upon myself to do these things. This was my life, not yours, and I'm okay with it. So please don't feel guilty or worried that you could have done more. It's not. It's okay. It's not a problem.
Thanks
So
so
he was
much.
going to go anyway. He was going to go anyway, and that's the way it is, So
Thank you.
you're most welcome, my darling. I just feel very relaxed with this man. The name Joe comes to mind. Does that mean anything? I might be kind of losing the plot a bit, but Joe.
It's probably my his dad, my grandfather Jose.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jose, was it?
Jose. Yep.
Well, I'll take it. I'll take it a little bit, because it just came quickly to me like that. And who's standing with him. So he's met up with family and friends and all the relatives, of course. And he just says, "Many blessings to you." Did he live in I want to leave, but did he live in an area as a boy or a young man that had lots of water around, like I want to move into the water and the swamps and the reeds and, more like jungle or something. It just feels that sort of thing. Does that ring true?
So when he passed, I was like little, but where he used to live with grandma, they had a river on the back of their house.
Oh,
So there's
okay.
a river where we used to we go and jump in the river, as children.
Beautiful. I just feel all that, in the reeds and the water and, mushy ground, that's as good as I can put it. So he says, don't take too much, don't be too hard on yourself, my daughter, and be brave. You've offered so much to support to those around you throughout your life. I've witnessed it. And you give others so much of yourself. And he says, take some back now. Give some to yourself, because I can't give you more than the things that you deserve are far outweigh what I can give you. But many blessings, and the beauty of spirit, he says, is shining within you too. And he sees that, and he's very much reminded of that, and prepared to give you more as you get older and move through life as well. Oh, and he's well and truly with you. And he's very soft and gentle, but he speaks more now. You know, he's more outspoken and very loving, kind father.
Thank you. Sorry, can you just please pass on? Because the last time I spoke to him on the phone, my dad actually said sorry. And can you please tell him that he should not be sorry? Like, I think he felt sorry that he was not able to provide for everybody. So if you can please tell him, he doesn't have to.
He knows that, darling. You've just said it to him. You don't need me or anyone like me to talk to them. Okay. So he knows, and they know what's in your heart, in your truest heart and mind. They know, and they understand the truth of what we feel. So God bless you, he says too. And he says, trust yourself more. And he's very blessed to know and have the opportunity. There's a little cat with him as well, just while we're at it. But there's lots of little farm sort of animals or something. So
Yeah.
So that is it. That is that for you, my love. So God bless.
Oh, thank you. God bless. Thank you. Thank you.
Most welcome. And it's so hard because you just can't get to everybody. It's so cruel, isn't it? But I certainly hope that you all felt the spirit and how it works and moves and how it's offered. If you'd like to take your journey further, we have two available options for you. One for readings. You can click the button below if you'd like your own one-on-one reading, simple as that. And the other is if you'd like to take your development further or get started on some spiritual practices and understanding of your own. We'd really love to hear from you too. So button 1 if you want to have a reading for yourself, and button number 2 if you'd like to get some development going and understand what's happening for you.